Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. So my name's Katie and today we are doing a TBR video. So first of all, a little update because I know I haven't uploaded a video in a while, but I've been really tired and I think just exams that I had at the end of June kind of wiped me out, and then just starting like my final year it's just been a bit like a lot's been going on and I haven't had that much energy to film. But I've still been doing quite a lot of reading just because that's kind of how I relax. But I'm really excited to be filming some videos again, and hopefully, so I feel like for the next year my videos might be a little bit more kind of erratic. I used to kind of try and do like 2 days a week on a schedule, like Sundays, Wednesdays, and I'm going to try and mostly stick to that. But if you see some like gaps in places, like missing days and things, then it just couldn't be helped, I guess. And then I don't know what I'm gonna do once I qualify. Maybe just occasionally upload videos when I have the energy, but we'll see, because I think there's a reason there's no doctors on BookTube. It's very tiring. But I have massive respect for people who like work full-time jobs and make videos. That's very impressive. But yeah, so anyway, today I'm going to be talking about some books on my kind of high priority TBR that I want to get to soon, because I didn't really do an August TBR. So this is sort of like my August and early September TBR, I guess. Although I think I will just do a September TBR video as well. But these are just some books that I want to kind of prioritise and get to soon. So, and I like making TBRs, like talking about what books I want to read. Also, please excuse the massive amount of highlighter I have on. I feel like my face is reflecting, and I'm sure the ring light isn't helping. But yeah, if my face is blinding you, I'm really sorry. I went a bit heavy-handed, but anyway, okay. So the first two books I'm going to talk about are books I've actually already started. So the first one is Machine by Elizabeth Bear, and I'm about 150 pages in. Yeah, 165 pages in. And this one we're following a woman called Dr. Jens. Is it Jens or Jenks? Jens, yeah, Jens. And she is on this kind of space ambulance type thing, and her job is to sort of research alien like diseases and things. And they come across these abandoned ships with this mysterious sort of ship mind who's in like a human, not a human body, like a AI body shaped like a human, and she has put all her crew into like cryo sleep, and then it's kind of solving that mystery of like what's happened to this ship mind and why all the crew have been put into sleep. And I think it says in the synopsis as well, there's like a murderous virus from out of time. So it's a bit of a mystery, but I'm really enjoying it so far. Yeah, so that's that one. And I'm also reading Vesta of Cold by Joe Abercrombie. I'm not very far into this one, like 65 pages. It's quite chunky, but I'm really enjoying it so far. And I didn't know, so I knew there was a character called Monza, who's the main character, who I've never come across before, I don't think. It's been a while since I read First Law, but I can't remember her from them. And she wasn't in Age of Madness, really. She was mentioned, but... and then Shivers, and I can't really remember Shivers, to be honest, from First Law, but I think he's in there. But I love him in A Little Hatred and the Trouble with Peace, because he's like, I don't know, like Ricky's little adoptive dad, and it's so cute. But I'm excited to see his arc in this book as well. So basically Monza is out for revenge, and she has this kind of a kill list basically of these people who sort of contributed to the murder of her brother. And so she recruits a couple of kind of, what's the word, ruffians? I don't know, we're watching too much Tangled. Yeah, one of whom is Shivers, and Shivers has gone to Styria because he's from the north, so he's going there to try and reform himself into a new man, but then obviously he gets dragged into this revenge plot. So yeah, I am enjoying it so far. I really like Joe Abercrombie's writing, and I feel like the reason I didn't like First Law is because, well, the characters, I love Glocta, but some of the characters are a little bit like dude bro-y for me, and also there's a huge lack of plot. But I feel like with this and Age of Madness, you can see what the plot kind of coming together, and his books work so well with plot. I don't know why he didn't include it in First Law, but anyway. So yeah, so that's that one. Okay, then next we have a book called Look in the Shadows. This is a little baby book. Look how cute. Anyway, so, and this one, I don't really know what it's about. It kind of reminds me a little bit of Lives of Locke Lamora, but I think there's a main Achillean couple, or maybe I don't think there'll be a couple in book one, but like it's a series. So basically I'll read the synopsis. So, when young Alec of Kerry is taken prisoner for a crime he didn't commit, he is certain that his life is at an end. But the one thing he never expected was his cellmate, spy, rogue, thief and noble, Sir Gil of Rhymi, is many things, none of them predictable, and when he offers to take Alec on as his apprentice, things may never be the same for either of them. Soon Alec is travelling roads he never knew existed toward a war he never suspected was brewing. Before long, he and Sergil are embroiled in a sinister plot that runs deeper than either of them can imagine, and may cost them far more than their lives if they fail. But fortune is as unpredictable as Alec's new mentor, and this time there might just be luck in the shadows. So this sounds like really fun, and like very classic fantasy. Like the cover is just very like classic fantasy. I'm pretty sure this was written in the 90s. Yeah, 1996. So it's, well, I mean the book isn't older than me, but the text is older than me, which is crazy. So yeah, that's that one. Okay, and then we have Last Night at the Telegraph Club by Melinda Lowe. I haven't actually read a book by Melinda Lowe before, but I know she does have a lot, and I think all her books are sapphic. So I know there's one called Ash, which is like a Cinderella retelling or something, but this one definitely really appealed to me. I think it's set in the kind of 1950s. Yeah, 1954, and I'm been loving like historical settings for like, I'm not sure this is really a romance, but I have been loving historical romance recently. But anyway, I think it's set, and there's this yeah, a lesbian bar called the Telegraph Club, and we're following a character called Lily. Yeah, and I think it's just her sort of, I'm guessing it's a bit kind of coming of age and her dealing with her identity. She's Chinese American and like coming to terms with, I guess, where she belongs. I honestly don't really know, but it sounds really good and I'm very excited. Then next we have Wrath by John Gwynne, and this is the final book in the Faithful and the Fallen series. So I've read the first three, obviously. Okay, maybe I do need to clarify that, because sometimes I don't read series in order, but I have read this series in order. And yeah, I'm very excited to get to this final one, because I do really like the characters in Faithful and Fallen. Like, especially, I think my favourites are Camlin, because he's like, I don't know, he's like grumpy Dilf that adopts all the characters, and then Veritas, who's just this absolute himbo. Oh, I wanted to slap him so many times in the head in the first few books, but actually he got his act together a bit in, what's the third one, Ruin. So I'm excited to see where it goes in this one. And yeah, it's just a very epic series. It's kind of like a bit good versus evil, and there's lots of characters, and it's a bit hard to summarise, especially the fourth book. But I have heard the fourth book is really good, actually. So I'm excited to see how everything comes together. And then another kind of big, chunky fantasy. I'd like to read An Echo of Things to Come by James Islington. And this is the sequel to The Shadow of What Was Lost. And I read that in January and really enjoyed it, actually. I think I gave it like 4 or 4.5 stars. And it's another kind of big epic fantasy. Kind of, it gave me a bit like Sanderson vibes, which obviously I'm a big fan. And I really like the magic. It's kind of cool. It plays with time a little bit, which I thought was interesting. And I just like, there's like a little group of kind of disaster teenagers just trying to find their way. And I feel like it plays into that classic kind of fantasy. Not exactly chosen one, but like stepping up to the plate to like save the world. I don't know. And I've heard that this one is even better, because I think the first one may be self-published, and then this one has had a bit more kind of editing and stuff. So yeah, I'm excited. I remember the first one being really good for like twists and turns, so yeah, I'm looking forward to this one, and also the third one, but I have to read this one first. Yeah, okay, and then next we have Afterlove by Tanya Byrne. And I love this cover, it's so pretty. And this, I think, is like a ghost romance, and it's sapphic, which just ticks all my boxes. Like it's a ghost going back to see her first love or something. But anyway, it sounds really cool. And I think I mainly wanted to read this because of the cover. But and the tagline's like, not even death will tear them apart. And I like the butterflies. They're like moths. But anyway, I love sort of things that play with like death and the afterlife and like ghosts, and yeah, ghost romance angst is just unparalleled. So yeah, so that's that one. I will report back after I've read it. Okay, and then next we have A Vow So Bold and Deadly by Bridget Kemmerer. So this is the final book in the I love this Curse Breakers series, is that what it's called? The first one's The Curse So Dark and Lonely. Anyway, and I've been meaning to get to this for ages, just so I can like have the series completed. I've not heard the best things about this one, but actually I really liked book 2. Which a lot of people didn't, so I'm hoping maybe I actually quite like this one. And it's just kind of fun YA fantasy series, so I think I'll enjoy it. And it's like nice and easy to read when you've had a long day on the wards. Yeah, I got a trial of Kindle Unlimited for like 2 months. And I've been reading quite a bit of like smutty romances, just, you know, that kind of cheesy like good stuff in the evenings, because I haven't had really energy to read like proper books, but I still like reading because it relaxes me. So just reading like these cheesy romances has been a lot of fun, but I'm not including them in like my wrap-ups or anything, because I don't know if anyone really wants to hear that. I might make a video though on like my favourite Kindle Unlimited books, maybe, I don't know. But yeah, so that's that one. Okay, and then next we have the Mercies. I actually started reading this like in January or February, but I never really got into it. I just read about like 20 or 30 pages. I mean, I think it's all dusty, that's why I'm slapping it. What I did read, I think I enjoyed, but I think I probably got distracted by other books. And this one I think is set in like Norway and super north and on a little island, and then there's like a shipwreck or a massive storm and all the men on the island die, so it just ends up with the women. And then maybe a priest comes and I don't know, chaos ensues. But yeah, I like the idea of the kind of culty thing. I've been watching Midsummer, the film, quite slowly. It's not, I don't think it's quite the type of film that I like, but it's definitely interesting. And this sort of gives me slightly those vibes. Also, I don't know if anyone knows, but I was very excited about this. And so the creator of Haunting of Hill House and Haunting of Bly Manor there's a new like series coming out in September, because like Bly Manor is one of my favourite TV shows ever. Oh, I think about like Danny and Jamie on the daily. But yes, it's called Midnight Mass, and it's set, I think it's this little island in Connecticut, and it's like a community, and then this mysterious priest shows up, and then mysterious like spooky things are happening, and that just sounds so good. It reminds me a bit of Fear Street, like 1666. Yeah, which I watched the Fear Street films as well, and I enjoyed them. I always thought I didn't really like horror, but actually I quite like I don't want to call it fun horror, but it's kind of like that cheesy horror, so I quite enjoyed it. I want to read this one. Anyway, I don't even know if this is a horror. I don't think it really is. I think it's like culty type thing, but yeah, we'll see. Okay, and then we have Night Shine by Tessa Gratton, and I'm looking forward to this one. I really like Tessa Gratton's writing. I've read Queen's Venice Lear by her. I think I've heard this book has kind of almost like Studio Ghibli vibes. And I think the cover's very like, I don't know, pre-2000 YA, but no, not pre-2000, pre-2010, sorry. But I've heard actually really good things about this. The only people I haven't seen many people who've read it, but the ones who have really loved it. I don't think I've seen a bad review. So yeah, I'm excited to read this one. And I think it's about like an orphan girl who is befriended by the prince, and then the prince is kidnapped, and then they have to try and save him or something like that. So yeah, that's that one. And then finally Rule of Wolves. I've been meaning to get to this one forever, and I don't know why I haven't. I think maybe because it's kind of bigger. It's like nearly 600 pages, because I really like the Grishaverse, and I really like Nikolai especially, and Zoya and Nina, who are the main characters in this series. And I remember for King of Scots, I was like so anticipating it. Like I read it on the day it came out, and I was like looking out the window for the Amazon parcel. But yeah, for some reason I haven't got around to this one yet, but I think when I do I will really enjoy it. And I think it's kind of almost like maybe it's because I don't want to say goodbye, because this is like almost the final Grishaverse book, I think. Although I did sort of spoil myself for how it ends, because I had to know if a certain couple ended up together, because I really love them. But yeah, so that's that one. And then so that's all the physical books, but then I also have Legacy of Ash by Matthew Ward, I think, and Legacy of Steel, which is the next book. And I think Legacy of Light is coming out because I have an arc of Legacy of Steel, and it came out in about March, and that is the only arc which is like lurking on my NetGalley that I still haven't read. I think it's because the books are huge. So I was thinking about maybe caving and listening to the audiobooks, just because I feel like sometimes big, huge fantasy on the audiobook helps me, like, just get into it. So yeah, so I might do that one. But I don't really know what it's about, to be honest. It's another like big epic fantasy, but I want to get to it, so yeah. So that is the video. I hope you all enjoyed, and thank you for being patient with me in my slightly erratic posting schedule. But I do really love booktube, and I really love filming, and I will always have a special place, so I will always try and do it. Yeah, so let me know in the comments what a book that you really want to read soon is. I would really love to know, and I hope you're all having a great day. And if you enjoyed the video, please give it a like and consider subscribing if you haven't already. And yeah, I already said I hope you're having a really great day, but I will reiterate it, and goodbye.